Okay, so if anybody says, how does Measurable Genius grow? What's your plan? The answer is, well, we penetrate with JARVIS. And then they're going to be like, what? Explain that to me. What is JARVIS? What do you mean penetrate? You know what I mean?
Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Nudge, 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 nudge. Know what I mean? Say no more. Know what I mean?
Nice hat, Gav.
Thanks, Mike.
That's all I can see is York.
That's all you need to see, man.
Yeah, I'm ahead in the world.
So today we have the opportunity to go through the 2-day planning session that we did as a leadership team. We're now going to spend the morning going through with you guys. The next section is about the sandbox and brand promises. So the sandbox and brand promises represent two different parts of the business. The first is the sandbox, which is where we want to play the game. And I think the sandbox is critically important because it helps me to be clear on what to say no to. Before I had a sandbox or any concept of sandbox, I probably would have been like, let's try to go find customers everywhere all over the world, doing all different types of things, and let's try to help everybody, right? A sandbox really forces us to define who and where do we want to work with and what do we want to do for them. So we've defined our sandbox. Here it's broken into two parts. We basically said that the beneficiaries and stakeholders that we want to impact are entrepreneurs and employee-based business owners in Western Canada. And what do we want to do for them? We renamed what we used to term business activation services. What? Business activation services.
Which is
Are we still calling it that?
Yeah, it's just, it only means anything to us, which is where we struggle.
So what are your thoughts on this, Everett? What do we call what we do?
We still call the packaging business activation, which in terms of our vernacular is the most accurate. It's just, it's the same thing as, oh, we're polymathic. It's that same debate. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
Meaning something to us doesn't mean something to the general market that's not already primed. The general marketplace would be most understanding of where we're coming from when it is entitled business strategy.
They understand those words.
I don't think it's clear in their head, but they at least get as close to the correct trajectory of what we're doing with those terms.
Business development strategy and execution.
Which I don't think hits the nail on the head, but in terms of what is readily understood in the marketplace is the closest we can get, I believe. There.
Measurable Genius dominates the industry of business development strategy and execution for employee-based small and medium businesses and entrepreneurs in Western Canada. Is that clear?
See, even that feels like the sandbox is more accessible to
Totally.
the general
That feels
populace.
way better than what we said before.
Yeah.
Great. Now, one phrase strategy. We were asked to define a strategy for the company, which is the key to making money. Basically, the 7 Strata says, if you're going to go make money, how? What is the one strategy that the whole company can articulate in one word, right? Or one phrase. And so I think that what that came down to for us is we've been building a product called JARVIS. I've been building that product, we've been building that product from the perspective of, hey, we've built a service company, we do all this stuff, our clients need XYZ thing, and we've kind of like pieced together this tool that solves some of those problems. What we realized was that it's hard to sell coaching. It's also hard to sell high-ticket IT services, and it's hard to sell recurring services that are built on coaching that don't have something else that come with it. But software is easy to sell.
Like
And
that.
they say key to funding / making money. So
Yeah.
the everything we do through the lens of the strategy we're following to making fucking money.
Yes, which is we struggle with.
Okay, let's nail it.
Just go, just nail it.
Turn systemized potential into profit.
No, it literally needs to be like, we're going to onboard 50 clients into JARVIS to make $100,000 a month.
Oh, it's got to be, okay.
Really simple.
Like,
Yeah.
really, yeah.
we're positioning JARVIS as a product to capture infinitely growing revenue from all of our clients.
evergreen product run.
right?
Yeah.
Like that might even be it.
I would. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying
Down,
that's.
you're on the right track. Down to one phrase.
One phrase though.
So like Jarvis
so-
to 200.
We're penetrating ever expanding customers with Jarvis.
Jarvis is
Thrust out.
penetrating.
We're thrusting Jarvis.
Oh, it's afternoon. No.
So let's decide on the meaning of the strategy. Then we can decide how to articulate it.
Okay.
Are we agreeing or acknowledging that Jarvis is the way we're going to penetrate
I think it is.
Yeah, I do. Because
companies?
it's funny because we can try to do anything else, and it always the last step ends up being Jarvis. We should just make it the first step.
I think it should be. I think Jarvis is the market-friendly product that opens the door.
Well, and it also enables us to fully, I keep using the word penetrate,
I think
that
it's-
fucking business.
Well, and it shows it's a number one way to show off every skill we have in the business.
If the strategy is to penetrate with Jarvis, the implication is that therefore is the key to making all of our money. If we get Jarvis in, we're guaranteed money. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
At some point in time, you're going to get paid.
So then I want to say we serve with Jarvis, or serve through Jarvis, or we serve, maybe penetrate isn't the right word anymore.
I think it still is.
Penetrate,
Automatic
fine.
service through Jarvis.
Yeah, Alexander, yeah, penetrate is the right word.
We realized that if our number one priority for this quarter is to build a sales funnel, the easiest thing to do would be to position Jarvis as the tip of the funnel. And so what we realized was if we penetrate with Jarvis, penetrate their culture, penetrate their company, penetrate their strategy, penetrate their intentions to grow their company with a tool, capture all their data into that tool, we basically sell them the tool and then give them the strategic advisory for free. So moving into 2018, our mission is to basically ramp up our team, ramp up our sales, and ramp up our exposure in the market. And how we want to do that is by taking Jarvis to the table. Instead of taking measurable genius in the fact that we have services available to the table, we're going to take Jarvis to the table. We're going to let Jarvis tell them what to buy. We actually picked a theme this quarter that resonates. We picked the humble servant primarily because Jarvis is a butler.
I think it should be Jarvis is the new vision.
Jarvis is the new vision.
In
That's
brackets,
funny.
new.
Jarvis is the vision. Let's
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
Vision.
Jarvis is the vision.
Vision.
Jarvis
dash
is the
vision. Vision dash Jarvis.
No.
Vision,
It's I'm making a
Jarvis.
play on social
Yeah,
media.
we're doing an Avengers thing here.
Jarvis is the vision.
Jamie?
She doesn't like it.
Okay.
I'm not sold on it.
Me neither.
Okay.
It is
what else?
cute. I do like it.
I know.
But
I
it's
like
not
it too.
the.
But
I don't think we're all the way there.
Well, I was thinking, because Jarvis is his butler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why don't and butlers are service?
It's exactly what I was talking to you about in the car last night.
So why don't we say something about service and butlery? Something and Jarvis.
This is tying into our conversation.
It's in this case. So I talked about this coming home with Jen last night. I was like, the cool thing about Jarvis is a butler, and butlers are rooted in service. They're servants. And so how do we transcend the negative connotation to the word servants? How do we be the humble servant? It could be the humble servant is the theme.
Could be that. Okay.
That's a fucking good name, actually.
Okay,
The
let's do
humble
that.
servants.
The humble
Or
servant.
the humble servant.
You're welcome.
The humble servant stands for service. It stands for the product we're serving with. It stands for the strategy, which is to penetrate with Jarvis and to be that butler to our clients. Like they're Batman and they're ready to go on a mission and they just need, what's his name? Alfred to like spin up the Batmobile for them. Like that's kind of like the image that I have. That's why we chose this. I summarized it a little bit in a blog article for my own sanity, my own evidence. I'll do it again. We have solved an inordinate number of challenges in figuring out how to run a company. I think we've got a clear sales structure. We've now got a clearly defined funnel with one package. We've got a team that knows how to execute. We're not deficient in any one service category, although we could use talent, people in general. That's any business has a need for that. We've got what's necessary here to whatever the word go to market means. I feel like we've been not really going to market. And every time we do go to market, it's like, oh, what do I sell them? What do I sell them? It's like, now we sell this or this. What's your needs? And you can go this way or this way with it. we're going to have a conversation about the word priorities. Priorities as a concept. For example, let's say we have 5 priorities. Some might mean, okay, that means in terms of effort, I'm going to put 60% of my effort here, 20% of my effort here, 10% of my effort here, 7% of my effort here, and 3% of my effort there. And I'm going to work on all 5 of them all at once, just with different amounts of effort or attention. When you do many things simultaneously, all of them take a fucking long time to finish, right? That's why it takes me 4 years to get physically what might take someone a year to get to, if instead of 30 minutes a day, they spent 4 hours a day, and it was the only thing they focused on, right? We're not doing that anymore. I've led that culture. I've spearheaded that way of being. Our operating here as a company is a byproduct of me choosing to line everything up so that it's all being worked on all at the same time. The challenge with this is also that until one of these things is done, you don't gain the benefit of it being done, right? So when I say we're going to build Jarvis and Jarvis isn't finished, I can't use Jarvis to work on the next thing. So imagine we're paying down debt. You have $100 on 10 credit cards and you put $10 on each one. Every month, you pay them all equally. What happens? You end up paying way more interest. So what do lots of people do with debt repayment? They take the highest percentage interest rate, and they fucking kill it. And then they take everything they would have allocated to this one and they allocate it to the next one and they kill it faster. It's called waterfall. And so on and so forth. Your pace of being able to kill each debt becomes bigger and bigger and bigger because every time you do it, you're allocating all of the cash flow, the entire weight of the resources against the last one, because you started with the first one and you knocked it out first. So we're adopting this strategy here as a culture. This is a cultural context shift starting with me. Okay? Anything else from anyone else? Okay, great. Thank you very much. You're free to go. Warren never gets to be on camera.
That's a lie. I was right in the middle of the camera on Friday.
Warren is never filmed by anyone else except himself.
That's an accurate statement.